So as many of you probably know, later this year is the New York City mayor election. There's been a lot of questions surrounding this race, like who's actually running, who's going to win the Democrat primary, can a Republican pull off the upset? And the biggest question is, what is Eric Adams doing? Because right now, no one really knows what Eric Adams is going to do. Like, yeah, you go on the wiki page right now, and he is a declared candidate as of now, but most people would agree that he's undecided. No one really knows what he's going to do. He may run, he may not run. No one really knows. Well, we had a report drop from the New York Post just yesterday, and they're claiming that Eric Adams is considering running as an independent in this year's mayor election. Yeah, the Democrat mayor of New York City may run for re-election, but not as a Democrat, but as an independent. And I know Eric Adams is not the most well-liked guy. In fact, his popularity's in the shitter. Right now, it's like 25% approve, like 58% disapprove. It is bad. His numbers in New York City are horrible. But at the same time, it doesn't really matter what people think of Eric Adams. This would be great news for the GOP. And let's be honest here, disaster for Democrats. Because you're having the current mayor of the city, in Eric Adams, who is a Democrat, saying he's running for re-election, and not as a Democrat, though. He's not going through the primary. Well, he may. We gotta see. But he may run for re-election as an independent, which could theoretically split the vote. And that's why this is a big deal. Again, Eric Adams, even he knows he's done. There's no way this guy can win. I guess it's technically possible where, yeah, maybe Democrats, they somehow nominate Eric Adams and he does just good enough to somehow win. I guess that's entirely possible, but is it likely? Hell no. This guy politically is dead. But at the same time, he may still run for re-election. Because guess what? He has nothing to lose. And that's why I think he may still run. What does he have to lose? Honestly, if he runs for re-election, yeah, he's going to lose, but who cares? He knows he's done. Might as well say, screw it. Let's run one more time and let's see what happens. That's why I still believe that, while it's unlikely, it's not a guarantee it happens, I think there's a good chance that Eric Adams, he may actually run. And if he actually runs for re-election, he could actually impact the race, which I know that sounds crazy. Like I was saying, this guy is not liked at all. His approval is at best like 31%. It is bad. No one likes this guy. Everyone agrees that he sucks. But at the same time, you cannot deny the fact that Eric Adams was the Democrat mayor of the city. He won the primary back in 2021, and even to this day, he still has a base of support in the city for whatever reason. I don't get how anyone to this day can like what Eric Adams is doing. I mean, this guy's been awful for years. Yeah, he's gotten slightly better under Trump, which I think has to do more with the fact that Trump is not going after him legally. I mean, that's why he's saying, oh yeah, I'm pro-Trump now. We gotta shut down the border. We gotta deport all these people. But either way, Eric Adams was never a good mayor. He's been a disaster. The guy's a joke. But the point is, he still has support, which is just crazy. But he does have just enough support where if he runs as an independent, hey, he could actually sway the election. Because if the Republican candidate gets like, I don't know, 40% or whatever, which it's not a guarantee, but let's just say he gets 40%. Well, if Eric Adams runs, he could take just enough support away from the Democrat where the Democrat loses and we actually end up with a Republican mayor, which I know that sounds crazy, but it's possible. And he may just do that. He may run not because he's going to win. He knows he's done, but because he wants to give the Democrat Party one final FU on his way out. I mean, I don't like Eric Adams, but let's be honest here. The Democrat Party threw Adams under the bus. Like, he's not a good mayor. I'm not trying to say he is. But this guy was beloved by Democrats for years. They said nothing about him. They praised him. They said he was a great mayor. But the millisecond he said something halfway decent, he said, hey, maybe we gotta crack down on crime. Hey, maybe we should deport the illegals. That's what he said.
Well, cancel me, because I'm going to protect the people of this city. And if you come into this country, in this city, and think you're going to harm innocent New Yorkers and innocent migrants and asylum seekers, this is not the mayor you want to be in the city under.
Nothing radical. I mean, this is an issue that 80% of Americans agree with. Again, it's one of those 80-20 issues that Trump talks about. Well, guess what? The Democrat Party, they're so deranged that the millisecond he said that, that's when Biden's DOJ out of nowhere went after Eric Adams. Gee, I wonder why. It's not because he's corrupt or whatever. Again, that's the excuse. No, it's because he said something they disagreed with. Listen, I don't like Eric Adams, but that's bullshit. Eric Adams was a bad mayor, yes. But the second he says something halfway decent, that's when you go after him? You're going after your political opponents? Really? That's your plan? And that's why I believe he may run. Not because he's going to win, but because he wants to give this party one final FU. He is saying, okay, you know what? You're trying to take me down? Fine. I'm taking you down with me. I'm not going to win. Neither are you. And that may actually happen. Now, I should be clear about one thing. None of this really would matter if Andrew Cuomo wins, which right now, Andrew Cuomo, yes, that Cuomo is the favorite to win. He is the favorite to win in the mayor election in 2025. But at the same time, it's not a guarantee the guy wins. Everyone knows he has a bunch of scandals. Yeah, he is probably the strongest candidate here, but it's not a foregone conclusion he's going to win. I think he's the favorite, but the problem for Democrats is they have a bunch of nut jobs running in New York City. And the sad part is, a lot of their base in the city are insane. These people are radicals. These people are nuts. And Andrew Cuomo is the more moderate Democrat in this race. Yeah, I know, Andrew Cuomo, the moderate. That doesn't really sit right with me. But either way, he is. He is the only Democrat running that actually has a chance of winning that isn't absolutely crazy. Like these other people on the Democrat side, I have no clue where Democrats find these people from, but these people are actually insane. Like, these people are nuts, they're schizophrenic, they're insane, and there's a non-zero chance one of these bozos could actually win. And that's because in New York City, on the Democrat side, it's ranked choice voting. So that means Andrew Cuomo has to get over 50% of the vote to win the primary, which right now I think he's a favorite to do so. I mean, you look at the polling right now, Andrew Cuomo is killing everybody. Right now, he's in the first round, he's getting 31, 38, 36% of the vote. Way more than anyone else. But the problem is, well, there's two major problems. For starters, that's because of name recognition. Andrew Cuomo starts off with universal name ID. Everyone knows who he is. They may not like him, but they know exactly who Cuomo is. But the other Democrats, outside of maybe Eric Adams, no one really knows about. Like, some people know about some of these other people, but let's be honest here. Everyone knows who Eric Adams and Andrew Cuomo are. Everyone does. Well, guess what? If these other Democrats pick up name recognition, they start gaining steam, well, there's a chance that Cuomo could actually go down. Because right now, I think this is name recognition. I think he's winning off the back of huge name recognition, especially compared to everybody else. Everybody else is like 10% or whatever. But some of these nut jobs, they could actually pick up momentum, and they could actually win. And again, I'm not saying it's going to happen, but that's the first problem. The second problem is, Eric Adams in 2021, he won because he was the more moderate pick. He was the more moderate pick, but he barely won. Ever since 2021, a lot of those Democrat voters that voted for Adams in 21, they're now Republicans. Like, some of them might vote in the Democrat primary, but a lot of those more moderate Democrats, they're Republicans now. And that's something I don't think people are talking about enough. These people, they're not Democrats anymore. Again, some of them might vote in the primary, but a large chunk of them, they're Republicans. And that could hurt Cuomo big time. And you start looking more into it, it's like, wait a minute, there's an actual chance that Cuomo could lose. Again, I think he's a favorite, but guys, it's a non-zero chance he could actually go down. If that happens, it's not going to be to some moderate Democrat. No, it would be to some deranged radical that has no business being anywhere near the primary. I mean, this guy should be at 1%. But right now, for example, Zoran Mamdani, he's one of those radical Democrats running. Right now, he's at third place. If you include Eric Adams, which again, he may not run, we got to see. But in the Democrat primary, this guy right here, Zoran Mamdani, he's a radical. Right now, he's, only 8%, yeah, but it does seem like he is slowly going up. He is going up from 5% to 12% to 8%. He's slowly going up. It's not he went up 20% overnight. No, but he is slowly over time going up. And this guy, after what happened a couple days ago with Tom Homan, for those that don't know, this guy was screaming at Homan. He looked like a deranged lunatic.
How many more New Yorkers not charged? Do you believe in the First Amendment? Do you believe in the First Amendment, Tom Homan? How many more New Yorkers will the charge that target?
He was screaming at him. He was trying to charge the stage. That guy now became a fan favorite of the progressives. So now you have a radical like that who could win the primary if Andrew Cuomo even falls off a little bit and he picks up momentum. And because it's ranked choice voting, the other progressive voters, they're going to vote for the guy. They're not going to vote for Andrew Cuomo. They're going to vote for the more progressive pick. And that's a problem. The ranked choice voting, it may screw Democrats over in the long run, which is absolutely hilarious. But either way, Democrats in New York, this is not good for them. Like, they may get stuck with an absolute radical as their nominee. And if that happens where he somehow wins, like this Zoran Madani guy, which again, he's a nut job, if he actually wins a primary, I think he loses. I think he loses to the Republican candidate, whether it's Curtis Sliwa, which I think it's Curtis Sliwa, he's going to be the nominee more than likely. But the point is, Republicans, if they run someone halfway decent, which Sliwa is okay, again, is he perfect? No, but he's a pretty solid pick overall. Well, guess what? If they pick him and Democrats end up in a shit show or primary and the guy barely gets over 50%, well, Sliwa already has a good chance of winning because the guy's a radical and a bunch of those Cuomo voters, they're never going to vote for that guy. They're going to say, what the hell? Who the hell is this nut job? We're not going to vote for this guy. And at the same time, you might have Eric Adams running as an independent, and he's going to siphon off support away from this guy. More moderate Democrats would vote for Eric Adams. They're not going to vote for, Mandani or whatever, and they may not vote for Sliwa either. But at the same time, it's like, if these Democrats just don't vote or vote third party, well, guess what? That's going to cost Democrats support. And that's why I think Republicans could maybe, just maybe pull off the upset. Again, I'm not saying it's a guarantee, but I think there's a good chance that Democrats, they might be in trouble here. I should clarify that's only if Eric Adams runs and Cuomo does not win the primary. Because in that scenario, yeah, I think Republicans are in a good situation here. But at the same time, if Eric Adams does not run and Cuomo wins the primary, I think Sliwa, he might do better than he did back in 21. I think he would by a couple points. But at the same time, I don't think he would really beat Cuomo. I just don't see that happening. Like, yeah, maybe there's a third-party progressive candidate that runs. But at the same time, I don't think they would get that much support. So, yeah, again, I'm not saying it's a guarantee that Democrats lose New York or whatever. But with the trends happening in the city, I mean, guys, 2024, Trump did amazing in the city. He didn't win it, obviously. But compared to prior years for any Republican, he ran it up in Queens, Brooklyn, Staten Island, the Bronx. He ran it up everywhere in the city. Well, if you run a good candidate like Curtis Sliwa, and Democrats are in the shit show or primary where Cuomo loses, yeah, there's a chance that we could actually have a Republican mayor, which I know that sounds crazy saying, but the trends are looking good for Republicans here. And now Democrats, they may be stuck with a radical if Cuomo goes down. Now, a lot could happen. I still think Cuomo is the clear favorite. But the fact is, Democrats have a chance of picking an absolutely insane radical as their nominee. And if they do that, I will laugh hysterically because they would get killed if they pick that bozo. That guy would get crushed, especially if Adams runs. But anyways, folks, thank you so much for watching. If you guys did enjoy, smash the like button down below, subscribe, share with your friends, and of course, join the channel today. Godspeed to all of you.